Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's actually Halloween today, so happy Halloween. I'm really excited, actually. I don't know if excited is the right word. I find this topic very interesting. The topic I wanted to talk to you guys about today is specifically the comment section on the NFL's Instagram, so like the official NFL's Instagram. And I don't think I've heard anybody talk about this, which is just like really strange to me because the NFL is like such a huge entity. It has 28.6 million followers. It's like this huge phenomenon in American culture, and they're trying to expand, to make it a global thing. There was games in like Munich last year, there's games in London last year, and there's games in London this year. So they're really trying to like expand to other countries, but it is a very American phenomenon for sure, American football. If you haven't been able to tell yet, where I fit in this is I am a huge Viking fan. I keep choosing topics where I know there's certain audiences that might get mad at me for discussing these things. It just happens to be topics that I'm also interested in. I do think that the NFL gods are mad at me for talking about this maybe, because literally last Sunday, our quarterback Kirk Cousins got injured and he's out for the entire season, and our season is probably screwed now. Like, we're probably in so much trouble. JJ is out too, so the Vikings are not doing well right now. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we're going to be talking about the Instagram comment section of the NFL. So, as I said, the NFL's Instagram has 28.6 million followers, which is, a pretty big following. The NFL is one of the accounts that I follow that posts like the most, but they post multiple times a day. As most people know, most games are on Sunday. There's usually like 3 slots, so there's, depending on what time zone you're in, I'm gonna go by Central Time Zone because that's where I grew up most of the time, but if you're in the Central Time Zone, the games are on at noon, 3:20, and 7:20. So if you're on the East Coast, add an hour, and if you're on the West Coast, subtract 2 hours. Can you tell my job is administration across the US? So the NFL obviously posts like so much on Sunday, just like constant updates on Sunday, but they also like post throughout the week. They post a lot. So I just pulled a few examples, and I'm pulling from all over the place to like really make my point. But the thing that I've noticed, so I followed the NFL for like many years, but it's something that I've always noticed. I guess it depends on how you interact on social media. So if you happen to be a similar person and you follow the NFL or see any of the NFL's content on Instagram, you will notice that their comment section is one of the most like heinous places on the internet. It is just pretty vile, honestly. It's really unfiltered. A large percentage of the comment section is just really like mean, just really mean. And so to be more specific, I thought I would go over some examples that I've noticed and like why I think this is like a big issue, and what the NFL has done to address this issue, and what I think they could do to rectify this issue. Okay, so first, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about some examples. You may be asking yourself, what pisses off the NFL's followers? Starting from like the most recent stuff that they have posted on Instagram. So I wrote this script for this video a few days ago on October 28th. So this was their most recent posts when I wrote the script. So the first one, the most recent one, was the Bears vs. Chargers game that was going to be on primetime that week. So they got the special primetime spot when, in theory, most people will watch. On that post, the comments included, "This has to be the worst SNF, so Sunday Night Football game, in recent history. This should be flexed to 3 a.m. As a Chargers fan, take this shit off primetime." Okay, so just not great. Honestly, the flex to 3 a.m. comment is kind of funny because just 3 a.m. is crazy. There's a chance they meant 3 p.m., but if they didn't and they meant 3 a.m., that's actually like really funny, but in like the meanest way possible. And I do want to say, because it's like their most recent post, it was fresh, it was young, so there wasn't that many comments on it yet. So fine, it's bad, but it's not, it's the internet. We've all seen worse, right? So the post before that one, so it's been on there just like a little bit longer, was a video of Bryce Young getting drafted, which I don't know why they posted this now. I guess they were like just trying to hit their post quota or something, but it's a video of when Bryce Young got drafted earlier this year, so for this season, and he got drafted with one of his like childhood best friends who he grew up playing football with. And so Bryce Young got drafted, and then his friend got drafted immediately after him. Like, they were consecutive picks. So when I first saw this video, which I saw this video when like the draft was happening, basically, because they were both like first round picks. When I saw this video, I'm pretty sure I cried the first time because I saw like all the backstory of them growing up together. It was very emotional and like very touching. That's my context. There were a few nice comments. I do want to add there were some nice comments, which is great. I'm glad to see it. But there was also comments like, "That was the last time he smiled, and that's where the happiness ended." And those were like kind of the worst of the comments, okay? So on these fresh posts, it's like not that bad, you know? Like there's much worse comment sections. And we'll see that. I think now we should look at some posts that have had a little bit more time sitting on the feeds. A few more eyes have seen them. I tried to choose a few that were more popular, so there was like a bit more comments on them. So one of the ones I chose was the post of the scores for the second slate of the day. So like I said, there's like usually on Sundays those 3 time slots of when games are on. So this was after the, what would be the like 320, so 320 CT, 420 ET, 120 PT. So the comment section said, KC games are so hard to watch, it's easy to tell the refs on they side. I read that so white. And this is KC meaning Kansas City, which we will talk about. There's a lot of Kansas City hate within the NFL's Instagram. The next comment is, commentators was on his knees at the end of that Chiefs game. Sometimes we take Mahomes for granted, like bro, I promise you nobody is. The third one was, of course they used Travis Kelce's picture instead of Mahomes. So I don't know, let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it now. When I was drafting this video, kind of what came to mind is there's particularly now 2 things that really make people mad on Instagram, like really make them mad. One is newer, one I've seen for a while. So the one that I've seen for a while is Patrick Mahomes. People really like come for Patrick Mahomes. People love filling out the little comment section, typing the little comments about Patrick Mahomes. I searched specifically for a most recent post on Mahomes because I have memories of people just dogging on him, just always. So I found the most recent one, and comments included, this that guy that got outplayed the past 6 weeks, and OMG, he played good against a trash defense. I'm so impressed. These comments aren't offensive, but they're just mean, and they're consistent. Every post you go on NFL's Instagram is like filled with mean comments. Sorry, my card was full, we're back. They're not doing anything that's like a hate crime, usually. But they are just like mean and promoting like this really negative space, I guess, and like mindset. They have, I just keep saying it, but they have like almost 30 million followers. And growing up, all of the boys in my schools were talking about football, were wearing jerseys, were talking about the NFL. And with us being more and more online, I just think it's like a really negative thing to promote to a lot of eyes. It's just like not regulated in any capacity. It's almost shocking to me how consistently negative it is. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's keep going. Let's look at a few more examples. Patrick Mahomes, that's one. I try to find another Patrick Mahomes one, so like the second most recent. And all the comments were talking about glazing, which I did not learn what glazing meant until I think this week, and now I've seen it a few times. But 2 of the top comments were, they glaze this dude more than Taylor Swift, and has he beat the... Oh, okay. So this is one where it's actually offensive. I was really shocked by this comment. So the post was about how Patrick Mahomes is like the youngest person to beat every NFL team other than like his own, obviously. And so a lot of the comments were talking about like, oh, but Tom Brady is the first one to beat all teams because Tom Brady was on the Patriots and then he retired and then he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So when he was on the Buccaneers, he beat the Patriots, and when he was playing with the Patriots, he beat everybody, like every other team but his own. So in theory, Tom Brady is one of the only quarterbacks who's beat like every team in the NFL. So a lot of comments were about that. Then there was this one particular comment that says, has he beat the, I don't like want to say this term because I'm not sure it's like appropriate. Has he beat the, and then a team name though. And it's literally just a racist comment. A little NFL lore, maybe you've heard about this, maybe you haven't. But the Washington Commanders, who've been the Commanders now for like 2 or 3 years, were previously another team name. And that team name was offensive to Native Americans, which there's a whole discourse on if the Kansas City Chiefs should be allowed to be the Chiefs, which I just think is really odd that it's taken this long to get to that conversation. But that's another video. The comment is just outright offensive because they're referring to how Patrick Mahomes has beat the Commanders, but I'm not sure. Maybe he didn't beat Washington when they were under the other team name because maybe their schedules didn't line up where he played them. So this guy is just clearly commenting to like cause problems, to be rude, to be offensive. I did want to bring up that there is moments where these comments do cross a line from being bullying to being just straight up offensive. And I was like not particularly like looking for offensive comments when I was like going through posts to talk about. I just specifically was looking for Patrick Mahomes ones in this case because part of what spurred this video idea was knowing that Patrick Mahomes posts get a lot of hate. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and the other kind of type of post that really spurred this, was the Taylor Swift hate is crazy. Taylor Swift in the past few weeks has been like publicly going out with Travis Kelce, who is a tight end on the Kansas City Chiefs, so the same team as Patrick Mahomes. So Taylor Swift has been going to a lot of the Kansas City games. I want to point out the only game recently that she hasn't gone to was when Kansas City played Minnesota. It's like the one game she didn't go to. It's like, it's fine. I'm not annoyed, it's fine. Not that it matters, but my opinion on Taylor Swift is like, I'm like very middle ground. I'm not like a huge Taylor stan, but I definitely don't hate Taylor Swift. I'm like really in the middle. I'm a 1989 girly, so I've been really happy with the new 1989 album coming out, the Taylor's version. So, okay, Swifties, I hope that's sufficient. Like personally, I don't really care if Taylor Swift is going to the games because I was already watching football, but I wasn't watching Kansas City games, and this isn't gonna make me watch Kansas City games. But the NFL has been like capitalizing on Taylor Swift being to the game. I would say every Sunday they're posting like 2 to 3 posts about Taylor Swift, which to me is like too much. I also find it annoying. However, never in a bajillion years would I leave a hate comment because they're posting so much Taylor Swift. Okay, sorry guys, my camera just died, so if there's a slight angle change, it's because I had to change my battery. Okay, so 2 Sundays ago, Kansas City's playing, I don't fucking know, it doesn't matter, not important. But Taylor Swift attends a Kansas City game. She's in Travis Kelce's box, as she always is. So there's 2 posts. The most recent one is a reel of her doing a handshake with someone in Travis Kelce's box. His sister, his friend, her friend, I don't know. I don't really care. Doesn't really matter. The post itself, the video, the reel, if you will, as of October 28th when I made this, 20,933 comments, okay? For reference, most posts get about 1,000 comments. So, I'm not as good at math as I used to be, but I believe that is about a 2,000% increase, which is just madness. The top comment is, use me as a dislike button. And the comment has 48,000 thumbs up. The second comment is, I couldn't put into words how little of a fuck I give. Other comments include, please stop NFL. You're making people hate not only the Chiefs, but Taylor Swift as well. Just stop. So, you know, at least that one was like a polite hate comment. You know, you gotta take your wins when you can. So this is kind of very, very, very briefly what I was talking about before. I truly can't remember where people were talking about this. God, I think it might have been just like a TikTok I saw. Like just people who I don't recognize. I really don't, because I can't recall. I really can't. So if anybody knows what I'm talking about, please leave a comment. But people keep bringing up how they think Taylor Swift's attention, like Taylor Swift bringing attention to the Chiefs is going to get the Chiefs canceled. But just on a basic level, to me, it does seem like the Kansas City Chiefs should have to change mascot. And I don't really see how it's any different from Washington having to change mascots. Other baseball teams who had mascots that were Native American changed their mascots as well. So people are saying that Taylor Swift is going to get the tomahawk chop canceled. For example, the Vikings have the Skol chant, and we bang the drums and everybody goes Skol, Skol, and it's awesome. It's really, really cool. I guess the Chiefs have something similar called the tomahawk chop, which like, guys, the tomahawk chop, like just think about it. Do we think there's no chance of any racial appropriation in that? Let's just think about it for a second. Okay, so I said there's 2 posts. The second post has 17,368 comments. Okay, so we're still up there. We're still really, really high. So the top comment on this one is, damn, I'm really about to unfollow the NFL. That sucks, man. And I must point out, there is 2 different sets of ellipses in this comment, okay? This comment's got 30.4 thousand likes, okay? So not as many as the other top comment, but still just a crap ton of likes. I just gotta say here, as a Gen Z person in the workplace, I hate an ellipses with a burning passion. Please don't use an ellipses. It's like so ominous to me. Like whenever I read it as like, okay, thanks. Okay, thanks. I've had someone use it like 10 periods one time. I'm like, why are we talking like this? Like, what are we doing? Anyways, I digress. The next comment is, please stop, we do not care, I'm begging you. Then, ain't no way y'all still posting her. And then, I'm going to unfollow. I'll be back when they break up. Which just means this poor man does not believe in love, unfortunately. It's a sad day. It's a sad day to see a comment like that. Yeah, man, it's just like, the way that they just need to scroll, like, all that is required is like, in my brain there's like 10 different ways I can branch off and get into detail. It's so one of the ones that like I think would require a whole nother video, but it's something I really need to point out, especially as me being a woman who likes football. Taylor Swift going to games to me is really just getting like other people involved in football and watching football, which to me is like such a fun experience, and like getting chills talking about it. Like I love watching football. It gives me like an opportunity to connect with my dad. It gives me an opportunity to connect with my mom too, because she is a Packer fan, so we are rivals on Sunday. I don't know why I've been doing this whole video. So it's just like a really fun community thing. Anyone who's getting to be involved in football is like just like such a positive thing to me. One of my core memories is the Minnesota Miracle. Like I remember watching that with my dad. I can like distinctly remember like clearly like what we did, all our emotions, like seeing that play. So it's just like anything that can get people involved with football or make football like a more positive place, I just think is great. And so I think Taylor Swift going to games is getting a large swath of people, because Taylor Swift's, fan base is huge, involved in football in some way. And so it's like seeing all these negative comments revolving around her simply attending games is like so disheartening. And it's like, I get that people are annoyed because the NFL is posting her quite a bit, but it's like they're using it as a publicity, moment, because they don't know how long, Taylor Swift's gonna be attending these games. And Taylor Swift's huge right now. She's got her Eras movie out. She's got her Eras tour out. Taylor Swift is so like top of the zeitgeist right now. Everyone's paying attention to Taylor Swift. So it's hard for me to blame the NFL for posting so much. And also like the NFL posts too much, period. The kind of like side topic that I don't think I have enough time to like discuss in this video, because I've already been talking for a really long time. I think about me. I love to keep going on and on and on. But it's just how I think this disdain towards Taylor Swift going to games, to me, feels really like reminiscent of men in general not wanting women in the same spaces as them. And I know it's like, I truly think this is a very defendable point, but it's one that's gonna like take a while to explain. So I'm not planning on talking about it in this video for like ever. But I easily could, and don't you forget that. But it's just like this, this disdain for women being in spaces that have typically been male dominated. Let me give you a few other examples. So whenever the NFL posts about how there's been a new female coach, or like the percentage of female coaches is going up, or a female coach was on one of the teams that won the Super Bowl, the comments are so vile. I remember all of them just being flooded with like, who cares? Who cares? Why should we care that it's a woman? Like, you would never post this about a white fucking man being a coach. It's like, it drives me crazy. It's like you're just missing the point completely. It's like, hey, would you like look around for a second? Do you happen to see anybody who looks like you? Because when I go and look down at the field, I'm seeing a very minute amount of people who look like me, other than being white. I acknowledge it's a huge privilege, and like I'm seeing a lot of white people, but I'm not seeing very many women. Again, I know I just kind of did talk about it for a bit, but I could go into the details a lot more. So it's just like, when I see these negative comments around Taylor Swift, I get like very similar feelings as to whenever I would see posts about women being involved in football at all. I did find another post, so this is like particularly vile. Okay, prepare yourself. This is like, to me, really, really bad. A good example of what I'm talking about, other than just, the like kind of vague examples I gave, are there's a particularly recent post of a reel, and it's a woman like talking, and she's talking about tight end day, which it was just like, whatever, National Tight End Day. So they were, posting all this like stuff about like Kittle was in a lot of videos and a lot of the tight ends like Hawkinson. And so there's this woman talking about tight end day. And these are the top comments. Is it giant forehead day too? Like, are you joking? Are you kidding? And NFL's not doing anything. They're like, yeah, let's leave that comment up. That's totally fine. We're okay with that. Other comments include, already knew what the comments would be on. Oh, I particularly wanted to shout out the person who said, so many people in here making comments, be better humans. I love you, thank you. And then another one was, I ran to the comments, and damn, she's a thinker. Just because like her forehead is in the video. Another thing is like everyone's saying, oh, I knew what these comments were going to be about. I knew these comments were going to be really bad. It's like, exactly. It's so expected of the NFL comment section to be really, really rude and mean, particularly to women, but not exclusively to women, just, particularly. If you remember, my initial question is, what makes people mad? Why are people leaving mean comments in the comment section? And the answer is, for literally any and every reason. It does not matter what the post is. If you don't believe me, I implore you to go check for yourself. I really do. This is another side topic that I like could be another video, and that is that I was really curious if this is like just a really common thing across all sports. So I'm like, maybe the NBA's comment section is just as mean. So I just looked really briefly for time's sake, and I was really actually shocked because they were just not nearly like almost like no, okay, words are hard. I was shocked because they're just nothing like the NFL comment sections at all. So really briefly, the NBA has 83.6 million followers. They have almost 3 times as many followers as the NFL does. Their comments are just really normal. Like I was just really baffled how normal they were. So the worst comment I found when doing like just a quick scroll through some of their posts was someone roasting the NBA, not even like a player, but just the NBA, for posting about a team that had lost by double digits. Like that was truly the meanest comments I found. Otherwise it was people like excited when they were talking about their team, or you know, just about excited about basketball. They also in general had a lot less comments per post than the NFL, which was also kind of surprising because of the amount of followers, like the ratio of followers. I don't know if it signals that the NBA like scrubbed their comments, I'm not sure, or if just NBA fans in general are more respectful. I also checked the MLB, and so that's, I guess I should have said these. The NBA is the National Basketball Association, I believe. MLB is baseball, so it's Major League Baseball. MLB has 10.1 million followers, so less than the NFL. And they were actually meaner than the NBA. They did have some like mean comments, but it was nothing anywhere near the NFL, okay? They were upset about things here and there, but they were not like leaving offensive and really rude comments consistently. Sorry, the sun is going down. I can talk here, that helps. What has the NFL done to counteract these comments? I really just found nothing. I really didn't find anything. I looked up NFL Instagram comments, and like all the search results was just like the NFL's Instagram or different Instagram handles. And then I looked up NFL Instagram negative comments, and it's all just like Instagram posts, like too bad for Giants, the Chargers have been down bad. You know, it's just like random posts. It's like nothing comes up. I just think the NFL has put effort into social issues very publicly. For a long time, the NFL has done Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, so everybody wears like pink, and that has kind of evolved to just cancer awareness in October, so now it's like a rainbow ribbon to like address a lot of different issues. During the Black Lives Matter movement, the NFL like really publicly like addressed different things, so a lot of people on the back of their helmets had different phrases, so it was like end racism or choose love, you know, things like that. And some players still have those on their helmets. And then the NFL has also done stuff for pride. If you check those comment sections, it's not good. It's not good at all. There'll be like some players who will participate in like pride parades, acknowledge Pride Month and their LGBTQ plus counterparts and friends and co-workers, which I think is like really good of the NFL to acknowledge these groups and different social issues. The point I'm trying to make is that it's not super black and white where the NFL stands on like hate. Like obviously they don't like hate, but their efforts, I guess, towards combating it are on different levels depending on where you look. I guess to wrap up, I just want to talk about what I think the NFL could do to potentially acknowledge these things that are happening on their Instagram posts. To me, it's like, it just comes off as a weak effort, I guess. Like you're telling me the NFL, this multi-million, potentially billion-dollar entity that is making just millions and millions of dollars, they don't have enough to hire social media interns to scrub their comments. It's like, you know, one thing where you don't want to like get rid of people's like opinions because you don't want to silence anybody, but some of these comments are just outright hate. They're outright bullying, and they're just up for everyone to see. Their top comments, they are #1 comments, because the NFL isn't doing anything to get rid of them. So I propose hiring some poor communication majors who are begging for jobs right now, okay, and just like cleaning up your comment section, dude. Like if you're just receiving hate comments, nobody needs to see that, okay? So just get rid of them. Hire somebody to put some keywords to get rid of those comments. It's a very common thing, okay? So like I don't know what the social media team looks like on the NFL side. I'm unsure. But I think it would be really a good idea to hire a diverse array of social media like personnel. So what I mean by this is the NFL has like a pretty big demographic. Like obviously like probably the #1 demographic is like probably white men and like older white men, but also maybe black men too. But I also think there's like just a huge spectrum of people. So I think hiring some of like the like more in the know, like 40, 50-year-olds or whatever, like social media people, I think that would be great because they're gonna like know a lot about who their audience is. But I think hiring like young people who know about football and about social media and how it interacts with like people and other social media and the NFL and sports in general, and also like women, so that you can expand to other women. I think hiring like a wide array of people to like coalesce and like figure out ideas that work for a lot of people would be such a great idea to get them involved in football too, so we can just all watch football and have fun together, guys, okay? I think another thing that they could potentially do is interact with positive comments. I don't think I ever really see the NFL replying to people. I think it's really common, especially now with like social media managers, as I keep saying, for companies to interact. So I'm not saying the NFL needs to be like going to other people's posts and commenting, but specifically on their posts, if they see positive comments, I think it would be great to interact with them, like by liking them or by like commenting back at them. Promoting the positive comments, I think, would encourage other people to also leave positive comments, like in the chance that the NFL will interact with them. Or they could also go and like comment on other like the NFL team's official Instagrams. Like that would be kind of fun too. So it's just like promoting a fun, happy, healthy environment on the NFL's Instagram would be just like really great and really fun and just personally improve everybody's experience with football and the NFL. Okay? Do you hear me, NFL? Please listen to me. My final thoughts. Number 1, NFL fan base. Get it together, okay? If you're leaving hate comments, like reassess, dude, because that's like embarrassing for you. It really is. Number 2, NFL, work harder on creating a positive environment and getting rid of hate, because nobody needs to see it. We're all products of the internet, most of us anyways, and we're already seeing it enough. So we don't need to see it on every single one of your posts. Number 3, my battery's gonna die. Number 4, Skull Vikes. Adam Thielen, I miss you. Okay, anyways, I'm done now. I'm done. I'm getting off my soapbox. The idea came to me and I'm like, I need to talk about this. So thank you if you're still here for watching this. I had a good time. Yeah, if you like this video and you like video essays talking about like pop culture and things going on, I talk about things that aren't just sports actually, quite frequently. I talk about social media a lot, but I also talk about books and movies and other pop culture things. So yeah, if you're interested in that, consider subscribing. That would be really fun. But other than that, I'll see you in my next video. Mwah, 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 mwah. Peace, love, and happiness. Goodbye. Ciao, Bella. Woo! Did you guys see that? Got really bright. Am I crazy? Did that not get really bright? Okay, anyways, goodbye.